I'm really excited about this new podcast about the life of the great Tibetan Lama, Lama Gangchen Rinpoche, who was born in 1941 in Tibet and trained by many of the great Tibetan masters and came to the West to bring the inner peace teachings of the Buddha. Our vision with this podcast is to share these remarkably inspiring stories from students who studied with him for many years and people who traveled with him to sacred places. My name is Leela O'Connor, and I'm a longtime student of Lama Gangchen Rinpoche. My co-host on this podcast is Yvonne Ulrich.
This is Yvonne Ulrich. I'm based out of Germany, close to Basel, Switzerland. And I met Rinpoche Lama Gangchen in 2007. When he left his body, I was thinking I would like to share these stories. And that's why I wanted to have this podcast to tell other people who haven't had the chance to meet Lama Gangchen in their lives, to listen and hear from all the people who met him and lived with him what the experience were.
These stories really are precious jewels and inspire us, and I hope will inspire you to deepen our faith in humanity, deepen our faith in ourselves, deepen our faith in the inherent goodness of people. Lama Gangchen's work was really founded on the principle that the power of compassion is limitless, and that our lives really take on meaning only to the degree to which we can bring love and support to other people's lives. So stay tuned for our conversations from this very, very rich spiritual heritage coming out of Tibet and the incredibly joyful, inspiring, mind-blowing, funny, touching stories about the remarkable life of Lama Gangchen Rinpoche, life with a Lama Healer.
Everything came together, everything. My whole life changed in another direction. And doubt was no longer there, crying was no longer there, pain was no longer there. There were only solutions.
Hello, and welcome to our very first episode of Life with a Lama Healer. I'm thrilled to have as our first guest Jan de Ruiter from Holland, and he also lives in Albignano, Italy. I've known Jan for over 25 years, and he's such a dear friend. I'm really thrilled to have him as our first guest, and I know that you'll be inspired by his stories of his life with Lama, because he worked very closely with him and traveled with him. And Jan is a businessman, a very successful businessman. He's the founder and CEO of Mani Bhadra and Phoenix Imports businesses in Holland. And he's also a member of the board of Mani Bhadra Lama Gangchen Wise Projects Foundation. He founded the Dharma Centre in Holland called Wise Projects Meditation Center, where Lama Gangchen would go to teach and where Lama Michelle and Lama Caroline currently teach and do retreats, and the monks go to do pujas. It's a very, very, very beautiful center. And Jan is the resident mindfulness meditation teacher there. Jan is a really generous businessman who has modeled his business on social responsibility, giving back, and he's been one of the main sponsors of Lama Gangchen's humanitarian projects around the world, as well as Albignano Healing Meditation Center. And I believe he was the very first director of the Albignano Healing Meditation Center when Lama Gangchen founded it in 2000. And he'll tell us more stories about that and his experience of working there. So Jan embodies generosity. He's always giving to other people, as he has so much compassion for other people and using his money from his business in a way to give back. So he's such an inspiration. So please join us in welcoming Jan. Jan, I'm so thrilled to have you here. Thank you, Jan, for joining us on our very first episode of Life with a Lama Healer.
It's my pleasure.
We're really thrilled and privileged to have you as our guest, and really looking forward to hearing your stories about your life with Lama Gangchen and how he impacted your life.
Yes.
So please, we'd love to know, how did you meet Lama Gangchen?
Yeah, in 1983, I followed a lecture of the Four Noble Truths at the Theosophic School in Holland. And the impact on me was so strong that I said I have to look for a teacher. I recognized my own life story and went to different lamas. But I was looking for a Buddhist teacher, and finally I found in the Maitreya Institute in Holland, met Lama Zopa. Lama Zopa is quite also a recognized teacher, and most people know him. And I dedicate my time as a Karma Yoga student in the Maitreya Institute. But in 1987, we went to Italy because there was a famous Lama living there, Lama Gangchen Rinpoche. And we went with two people there to invite him to give a Chen Racing initiation in the Maitreya Institute. Rinpoche came, and even that was also the first time that I met Ishtar, who came with her a little son. I think he was 2 years old, like that. And I also went to the lesson of Lama Gangchen when he was in Holland. It was mostly 1 or 2 times a year. And many students came to the teachings of Lama Gangchen. Then I had already slightly idea, very special teacher, but he lives in Italy. So I don't know how to do that.
How do you know, when you met Lama Gangchen, how did you know that is your heart guru and you put all the trust and the confidence into your path?
Trust is something inside me that was always there, intrinsic. It's not something that I have to learn. If I do something, I trust in what I'm doing. I trust always everything. Even in the worst time of my life, I had trust that it goes better. It took me several years before I really could surrender. And on the moment that you surrender, you really know for sure that it is the guru, not only for this life, also for the future life. So from that moment on, that I was really aware that Lama Gangchen is my root guru, my heart root guru, my essence guru, and I trust Rinpoche. Rinpoche, you can trust. He also trusts me completely. There was trust. Took refuge from Lama Gangchen. My refuge name is Norbu Sangpo. I also ask always in my prayers to be reborn close to Lama Gangchen, and also to be able to fulfill his wishes and his projects.
In that moment of surrender, or maybe it was many moments, I had that moment myself, but in that moment of surrender, did your life change after that? Or what changed after that?
Yeah, my life was changing already since I met Lama Gangchen, because Lama Gangchen is, to me, he was not the guru that tells me every week what I have to do and which mantra I have to use. Not at all. He was the guru that say, when I came in his room, sit next to me on his bed. And then he said, "But you are okay?" I said, "But Rinpoche, I'm not meditating so much." "No, you do already. All the job that you do for you is a meditation. People can learn a lot from you, not only sitting on a cushion, but put in practice what I have learned them." So he was always very happy with me that I put in practice all the time my lesson. That were small lessons that he gave in his room always to me.
Yeah.
Many of us throughout our lives, at some point in our lives, we have some kind of financial difficulty, especially people,
Yeah,
in their careers, they lose a job, or the
yes,
economy goes down, or
exactly.
their company isn't doing well, or deal with money. We all deal with money. And you have a really unique relationship to money and business. And I'd really like to emphasize that and to have our listeners hear about this unique relationship that you have. You talked about that you've always been a generous person. And one of the perfections when we're studying Buddhism is the perfection of generosity.
In 1988, I started a meditation center named Lotus, and I gave lesson in positive thinking and meditation. It was kind of new age center. Then I started my company in 1995. In 1999, Rinpoche asked me, after his visit to Holland and I visited Italy, and in 1999 I asked me to become director of the Albayano Healing Meditation Center in Albayano. I was thinking about how can I combine that with my company where I have to work very hard, and we are only working with a couple of people, 3, 4. So it's a little bit difficult, but I accept. There was so much to do in the center because we start from zero. There was nothing, nothing, nothing. No money, nothing. No people to help. Finally, some people came, and some old students came also to help a little bit. In the meantime, I asked Rinpoche, but why you ask me? I don't even speak Italian. The people can tell me whatever they want, and they trick me a lot. I tell you, Rinpoche, when I turn my back, they do completely the opposite things than we decide. It's really hard for me. He said, well, there's no problem. We do. Well, it goes on 1.5 year. I took a lot of money out of my company. That was a small company, not so big. That I almost went bankrupt. And I said, Rinpoche, what I have to do? He said, no worry, everything will come okay, everything comes fine. I said, but yeah, in the meantime, it's going quite bad. I have to promise the director of the manager that next year it's better. Next year was not better. Again, I gave too much money to the center and my balance was really bad. Anyway, the second year that I was there, my company went more down and I need to come to the bank. I said, I want to be honest. I said, I gave too much away. You cannot see it in the account, but next year it will be better.
So what was it about Lama Gangchen? We want to really highlight what an extraordinary being he was. What was it about him that had you trust that situation and to keep going?
Well, Rinpoche, he has so much love and compassion for others that I only could repeat it with love and compassion. And generosity, because my main thing is that I always was generous since I was born. I give away everything. So Rinpoche was the main one who kept me going to the center, of course. And even if I was in doubt to continue, I go to Rinpoche and I went to Rinpoche and said, Rinpoche, I don't know. It's quite difficult, this and that and that. No, he said, we see it will come better. After 2.5 years, I went to Rinpoche. Before I went, he had the last question. Tell me, Rinpoche, can you please multiply yourself in 2, Jans? I do my best, Rinpoche, but I'm not like you. Anyway, I quit. I give back my responsibility as a director, but I give you one promise. I will become your sponsor. I will become a Jindala for you. So that's what I'm going to do. He accepted, and I went officially again to him. I said, Rinpoche, I know that the company has obstacles. Can you please come to Holland to bless the company? Because I'm absolutely know for sure that it will go better. He said, yes, I come. Within 14 days, he came.
Wow.
Wow.
With Lama Michel and with many monks. Incredible. And he went around. I said to myself, is this a blessing? He only went around and he's sitting again. He did not.
When was that, Jan?
That was in 2002 it happened. The center starts. I became directly director. He sit down and he took a paper and he said, I'm going to give you a new name for the company. Really, Rinpoche? And he wrote down Mani Bhadra. And Lama Michel signed the paper. The paper is still hanging in the Gompa. It's almost a holy paper.
And what does Mani Bhadra mean?
Mani Bhadra, it means sharing of wealth and prosperity with people in need. It means also, because my name, Norbu Sangpo, means also Mani Bhadra. Means ocean of generosity.
From my understanding is your business model is socially responsible business where you're making money for the purpose of not only to make money and do good business, but also to give.
Yes, it is intrinsic in my company that the most important is help to others. Actually, the name of the company was Phoenix Import, and the phoenix bird symbolized immortality, resurrection, and life after death. And we directly put on our first website, that was a self-made website, that we donate a percentage of our gross sales to charities, toward humanitarian projects and support people in need in Nepal and India, and Rinpoche's educational cultural projects. So we start since the beginning, and even on my website you can still find, after so many years, a banner where I request my customers, if you donate €1, we double that, and it goes to Help in Action. That is the foundation that Rinpoche established. And therefore you need a company to make money and raise money and more money to sponsor more. I was convinced that I could do that, but I need the help from Rinpoche. Therefore, he gave me that purification in the company, and he made the name Mani Bhadra. From that moment on, 2002, when we changed everything and became Mani Bhadra, we grow each year 30 till 50%. In an economic crisis, when I looked to the statistic, I said, this is impossible. But I also know that Rinpoche, our miracle Lama, has a really incredible power. So we were able slowly to grow. The company grew 30-50% a year. It was incredible. And we were able to sponsor many monks to go to Borobudur. We sponsor Karma Yoga practitioners on request of Rinpoche. And he asked me to continue that. And now we are at 2023 and we're still doing that. The Peace Education Project, monasteries, Help in Action, Onlus Foundation from Lama Gangchen, and many other projects. In 2016, the company I placed in the foundation, I went to Rinpoche, I said, Rinpoche, if I die, if I pass away, and I did not arrange anything, then the company is lost, it goes to the children, and the future is lost. But I want to become your Jindala and sponsor for your future life. And Rinpoche said, you are the first one who mentioned this kind of things. I said, well, yes, Rinpoche, life is, we don't know how long it takes before we die, but I want to get things clear before I die. So we made a foundation, and the foundation name is Mani Bhadra Lama Gangchen Wise Project Foundation. What a long name. And I decide later on to place my company in that foundation. So I said, okay, here's my company, placed in the foundation. I can stay as a CEO, as a director, but that's it. And after, when I pass away, the company can continue. And Rinpoche was really very happy, I tell you, very, very happy with it. And also Lama Michel later on. And Lama Gangchen and Lama Michel became the honorable members of the foundation. Now we are in 2023, and the company Mani Bhadra goes quite a lot. We are a European-orientated company. We have now 60 people instead of 5, and we are able to support the center quite okay.
I observed so much in those early days, especially Jan, because we've been friends for all this time, 27 years, that you had always have had this incredible energy, the energy to do and the energy to accomplish and the energy to bring people together and to organize. You have the very, very strong strength of organization. So even in the face of not speaking the language, and having a very big cultural difference between the Italian way of working and the Dutch way of working. How did you negotiate that? How did you manage to have such wonderful energy and so much, like a boundless kind of energy to accomplish so much?
Yeah, but I was born with that energy already, but also with a kind of guidance of feeling that whatever I did went in a certain direction out of this miserable life where I was treated quite bad by my parents. My mother was a prostitute. My father, he had only hate for us, maybe because we came from that mother that left him. It was wartime. There was nothing for the children. So many things happened that I really don't know what exactly, but the time was terrible. The moment that I was looking for a solution, I found solutions. And I know this was my power. Inside, it always will happen in the way I want it. Yeah, I was happy with that. And Rinpoche see those things.
So when you found Buddhism, when you went to the Maitreya Center, was that because of this difficulty that you had growing up? Was that kind of an answer to your prayers, that it helped you to frame the situation that you had grown up with and what you were looking for?
Partly maybe yes, but partly Lama Zopa was quite an incredible teacher too. And he asked me also to become a co-director of the center. So also he saw the qualities probably that I did not realize completely, but he saw the same qualities as Lama Gangchen. And Lama Gangchen was the one that really touched me so deeply that I said, Lama Gangchen is not traditional. And this I love because I'm not traditional.
Yeah, and this morning I was listening to this researcher, PhD from Stanford University, who wrote this book about awe. And I love this word, awe. And those of us who were close to Lama Gangchen and traveled with him had many moments of awe. Could you share with us a moment of awe that you had with Lama?
Oh, there are too many. Every day. I tell you, I dedicate myself 200% to Lama Gangchen, to my guru. There was not one moment of awe. It was a constant moments of awe for me, always. And not any moment special. Till now, I never feel sad that Rinpoche passed away because he's always in my heart. I had no bad moments because I said, whatever Rinpoche taught me and all the other students, now I can show him that I put it in practice. No time to feel sad.
And Jan, I'm getting questions from people saying, how do you find your teacher? I don't know. How do you find your teacher? How did you find your teacher?
I think there are two things that we have to understand. First, the law of karma. That the law of karma is responsible that finally things match. If you are searching, otherwise not, you need to do something. And I told you that I went to the teaching of the Four Noble Truths and I recognized that I am a Buddhist. That was maybe a moment that I feel totally almost enlightened in my feeling. This is what I'm searching for so long. After so many years of drugs and rock and roll and all the cocaine and all the other things that I used, I knew that there was a solution. I knew that there is another horizon, and I found it, Buddhism. And then after that lesson, 2 weeks later, I gave my first teaching, positive thinking. And I opened a center. The name of the center was Lotus. It was quite beautiful, near the sea, near the beach. And this I will never forget. The first lesson, after the lesson came a student to me and she said, Jan, there's always something behind you. Okay, tell me, what do you see? I don't know. I cannot describe it. Okay, try it. Well, difficult, but it has many arms. What? How many? She said, incredible, I cannot count them. That was the moment that I realized I always get so much protection.
Wow, how beautiful.
And then everything came together, everything. My whole life changed in another direction. And doubt was not longer there, crying was not longer there, pain was not longer there. There were only solutions. I never had any doubt about Lama Gangchen. Even you know how people are. Students come to the lesson, 1, 2, 3 lessons, and then there's gossip and this and that. I said, no. Don't follow gossip. Just focus on your teacher. And then all the gossips disappear. I tell you a story from Lama Gangchen in the center that is maybe an aha. There was a lot of gossip the first years in the center. A lot. Too much. I never listened to it. And luckily I was Dutch. I could not understand it. So I was protected.
Yeah.
Positive side effect. And Rinpoche came one day and he asked everybody to come in. And he said, from now on I don't speak anymore. And if you don't stop gossiping, then I leave my body. What? Silent. Finally we continue with the Guru Puja or something, I don't know. And Rinpoche don't speak, he doesn't say anything and he went away. And every day when he came, he doesn't say anything. I asked the board together and I said, well, we have to do something. It's not possible to have a guru that doesn't speak anymore.
Wow.
I found a solution. I said, everybody need to make a small declaration on paper that I, this and this name, declare from now on that I don't gossip anymore, written, blah, 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 blah. And they didn't want to do it.
Ah, really?
No, they didn't want to do it. And then finally I said, please, you don't lose anything. Try it at least. What can happen? Nothing. Even if it's not working, we find another solution. And I went to Rinpoche, everybody sit there, and Rinpoche, we found a solution. Every student came in front of Rinpoche and declared exactly these words and signed the paper and gave to Rinpoche.
They signed it in front of Rinpoche?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And after that, so I can speak again.
Bravo.
He said, luckily.
Whoa.
That's a commitment.
Wow.
Yes.
I love it.
That was really something actually very special, yeah. And another very special moment was that Rinpoche had his birthday. I bought in Bali a Saraswati statue for Rinpoche, that big Saraswati statue. And in the night, I drove to Italy because I feel so strong connected to Rinpoche. I left at 11 o'clock in the night, in the evening, to arrive the next morning in the Gompa.
It's what, a 14-hour drive for you, right? Something like that?
Yes, with that long statue in my back, and in the meantime, trying to create a new song for Lama Gangchen. So, and only with driving, without having a pen in the hand or whatever, I repeat every word, and again, one word more, and then a word more. Finally, in the morning, I knew the song. And it was a song about Saraswati. And I went to the Gompa with the statue, and it was his birthday. And I said, Rinpoche, I'd like to offer you this statue from Saraswati. Well, it is a beautiful statue, actually.
Yes,
and,
very beautiful.
I said, can I please sing the song that I made last night? So you didn't sleep? No, you stayed up. I said, Rinpoche, I'm so excited always when I come to Italy that I can't sleep. So driving in the night is perfect for me. Less cars and easy to go. So then, I don't know the song now by heart anymore, but it is in the book. I sang the song from Saraswati. And that was a wonderful moment too.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Beautiful. And Saraswati is the female Buddha of arts, music and painting and all the creative arts, right? Creativity.
Yes, exactly. Yes, she's the protector and the female Buddha for art and musicians and whatever. Yes. There was another wonderful moment, and it was during the New Year's Eve. Capodanno, they say in Italy or so, the last evening before the New Year. We were downstairs. There was a movie about Tibet, and in that movie, one famous singer was singing a song that Rinpoche said, "Shh, listen, listen, we're going to make a song of Kalachakra." And there, in that evening, Rinpoche made a song of Kalachakra. Was incredible. Also, such moment, Rinpoche had his inspiration, and it just happened. So there are more moments. In Borobudur, the first time that I was there, the first 5 years, I don't go to Borobudur. I said, all these people going to Borobudur, what I have to do there? And I went the first time, and I was really, really so impressed by the energy and the power of Rinpoche when he's on the Borobudur. Totally different. Rinpoche on the Borobudur looks like he steps in a different energy. And yeah, I cannot describe it. After I made an evaluation, I still have it anywhere in the corner. But it was really, really incredible. So Rinpoche every year on the Borobudur, I understand people go every year with him because I went 7 times finally. And Tibet I never went. I said, Rinpoche, I'm not ready for Tibet. He said, why not? No, Rinpoche, I did 2 less purification. I don't want to face my old country. Very good, he said. You are not a tourist.
Making peace with the environment.
Making peace with the environment.
Making peace with Amazonia.
Making peace with Amazonia.
Making peace 5 elements.
Making peace with the 5 elements.
Making peace with the earth element.
Making peace with the earth element.
Making peace with the wind element.
Making peace with the wind element.
Making peace with the water element.
Making peace with the water element.
Making peace with the fire element.
Making peace with the fire element.
Making peace with the space element.
Making peace with the space element.
Mentally healthy.
Mentally healthy.
Physically healthy.
Physically healthy.
Inner peace.
Inner peace.
World peace.
World peace.
Now and forever.
Now and forever.
By all the human beings' attention.
By all the human beings' attention.
By all the holy beings' blessing.
by all the holy beings' blessings,
by Guru Shakyamuni Buddha's blessing,
by Guru Shakyamuni Buddha's blessings,
by the power of the truth,
by the power of the truth,
violence culture be transformed into non-violence culture,
violent culture be transformed into non-violent culture,
peace culture now and forever,
peace culture now and forever,
peace time,
peace time,
peace day,
peace day,
peace night,
peace night,
peace sleep,
peace sleep,
peace wake up,
peace wake up,
peace week,
peace week,
peace month,
peace month,
peace year,
peace year,
peace year to year,
peace year to year,
peace life,
peace life,
peace life to life,
peace life to life,
peace generation,
peace generation,
peace generation to generation,
peace generation to generation,
peace family,
peace family,
peace friend,
peace friend,
peace company,
peace company,
peace office,
peace office,
peace driving,
peace driving,
peace mind,
peace mind,
peace with everything,
peace with everything,
everything with peace,
everything with peace,
please.
please.
If you could pick 3 qualities that really were remarkable about Lama Gangchen, what are those qualities?
Yeah, there were 3 qualities that I said this is for me really the quality of Rinpoche. His endless generosity, limitless, endless generosity and compassion, his healing capacities, and his clear vision. This for me are the 3 things that are really always remarkable and always there. His clear vision, every time we need a solution, Rinpoche has a clear vision. He said, you need to do this, you need to do that. Even if nobody knows it, he knows it. And his healing capacity is quite remarkable, I tell you.
Yes, but shared.
Well, you know it. I don't need to tell you, but take the water and cream pill and take many other ways. The self-healing that he made in 1999, I think, something like that. His healing capacity is incredible.
Jan, do you have an experience around yourself about his healing experience or his healing capacity?
Yes, a lot of healing energy. Like if it is physical, he even can heal physical problems with his mind and with looks like simple solutions. But behind is the powerful Lama. But if it is about mentally, you have to heal yourself. You can't do it. Even the Buddha could not do it, but he can give you instructions to heal yourself. If you say, do you have any remarkable situation? Yes, I had. I have one. I went to Rinpoche crying because I had always fight with women. And if you look to my background, my mother was a prostitute. She left me. She never took care for me. I had to heal the relation with women. That was something quite difficult. And I was married with Maria Cristina Quintili, and it didn't match so well. But I always went in a healing process with her. I need to accept things, and that was not easy. So one day I went to Rinpoche crying. I said, Rinpoche, I don't know what to do anymore. I really don't know it. I get almost violent to Maria Cristina, and I don't want that. And I did already so many retreats. He said, yeah, I know. But you do again Yamantaka. Yamantaka is the best for this deep-rooted karma that is difficult to purify. So I remember his words, and some months later, I went to South India to do a Panchakarma retreat to heal also the body, because the organ has memory organs. And they remember all these traumas. They are all located in the body. And I want to get rid of them. And Panchakarma is excellent for that. And I took 28 days Panchakarma and a Yamataka retreat all together. Every day I did 4 sessions Yamataka and I did the whole sadhana every day. But I don't sit on a cushion the whole day. I go to the beach and do my mantras, Rinpoche style. Very good. This was really enlightened result. I came out of the retreat like I was newborn. My mind had no more problems in such way that I got violent. I got more peaceful because I have a lot of temperament. You can feel it in the body if you are angry. And I was no more angry. Absolute no anger. But I know how to stop situations and things. And I came back to Italy, and the first one I saw was, I think it was Gabriella. And Gabriella looked at me, she said, "You're a different person. What happened with you?" I said, "I did a panchakarma." Didn't say so much. Well, that's a good one. Can I go also next time? Rinpoche recognized it immediately. But Rinpoche is not the person of many words. He is just very happy, and this you can see in his eyes. So that was the most remarkable healing that I had in my life. So that makes me friend even with my ex-wife, Maria Christina. That is, everything went perfect.
Incredible. Such a transformation.
Yeah, yeah. But you do everything, many Yamatakas, many Vajrayoginis retreats, many Lam Rims you follow, and you're still waiting for the final bang. It works.
But also your efforts and your continuous
Yes.
working the path and commitment. And it's hard work too. It's not just given to you.
Very hard work. But I realized why I had this life with this mother and this father, and why I had to work out all those very heavy situations, too heavy, too traumatic. But I did it, and I realized, well, Diane, this is your part of the karma. So I was able to visit as well my mother as my father. And to my mother, she was already paralyzed, and she didn't want to see me actually. But she did it for one time, and I said, Mama, I was never angry on you. I forgive you for what happened because maybe you had no possibility to change anything. Are you happy to see me? And she waved with her head, yes. And 1 month later, she died. So I knew that I have to go.
You made peace.
Yeah, same with my father. I didn't see him anymore. But it was maybe 3, 4 weeks. I sent him forgiveness by heart. And when he died, I had no any tears, nothing, because
Forgiven
I
him.
make peace.
Beautiful.
Yes, so it's not always going in the way you want. But even Rinpoche said, you did the best you could do. But Rinpoche, what can I do with the money that I inherit? I want to use it in a positive way. And then came the name Phoenix Import.
The rebirth of the phoenix.
Yeah, the rebirth. And even he said, you know that even after that, with your actions, you can still send positive karma, even wherever he is or whatever he is, that is never finished. So I did. And I keep on doing that.
Many people struggle with difficult emotions. And I think during these last 3 years with the pandemic and climate change and so much uncertainty and unrest in our world, that people have even more difficult time with how to relate to difficult emotions.
Even more.
Your stories, you told these beautiful stories of how you worked with these really challenging emotions from your past. And yet you confronted them and embraced them and stayed with them to work through them to then eventually transform them. How did you do that? How were you able to work with such, strong emotions?
Well, I come from a school that is an highest yoga tantra school. The lineage from Rinpoche is highest yoga tantra, Nelson, transformation.
Transforming negative to positive.
Yes, but before I met Rinpoche, I already knew that. So I knew it by heart already. I just put it in practice more and more. But I was able to stop one day after another from heavy intoxication with cocaine and marijuana and pills and everything into stop with it. And 14 days later, I give the first lesson in positive thinking. I was the first one in Holland who does that. And they came to me and they wrote, all right, this man is giving positive thinking, like it's possible to change all your negative energy in positive energy. And it works. It works like that. Transformation. Deprogram your whole situation and transform.
But what gives you the courage to stay with it and confront it and then transform it? It requires an element of courage, don't you think?
But there are only two ways, or ended up in misery or ended up enlightened. I choose enlightenment.
So again, you had trust
Totally, always, my whole life.
that these teachings would help you.
Yes.
Yes.
That is an intrinsic in myself already there for all my life. There are moments you cannot use it, you know that. The situation is too terrible, unbearable and intolerable. But finally, you learn how to transform. And that was only by the lesson of the Four Noble Truths. And then you get the Eightfold Path and all the other Lam Rim subjects.
Mm-hmm. I would love to hear some advice that you could give to people who are seeking and would like to follow the Buddha's inner peace teachings or Lama.
First of all, I don't give Buddhist teachings, but the essence of Buddhism is in all my lessons, of course, because it's so clear that everybody can use it. And it's so logical also. I give mindful meditation and I do it in a slow way. So I call it slow mindfulness meditation. We take very long to do the 8-round breathing to explain that people can really understand how it works and that they can feel it in the channels. I take a long time for everything. I do slow mindfulness meditation. Otherwise, people who have the habit to do everything quick, they even will do mindful meditation quickly. I don't want it. So I repeat all the time things. Rinpoche asked me actually to give meditation lessons. And last month, Lama Michel closed the door of the car and we just say hello. He said, by the way, it's time for you to give lesson in the center also. Oh, thank you, Lama Michel. But if you look to people and you look to their wishes, then you know that all people want to end suffering. So they want to reach enlightenment. Even they use other words, it doesn't matter. Enlightenment to me means simply discovering within myself, and others can do it inside themselves, what is already there. For anyone, it is the same. And you don't need to search for enlightenment. You only need to purify your negative karma. Enlightenment you cannot find, it is already there. This is the truth. And this is in all the lesson of Lamrim. Finally, it comes back that enlightenment you are born with the same essence, you, me, everybody. And the Dalai Lama actually always speaks about it, the wisdom and the wisdom mind that you have intrinsic already there. And enlightenment you have already there. Just give space to the lights. So what I teach with my people is we give each other a hand and we start 10 minutes, give the light to each other and it goes in the circle. I tell you honestly, you can do it everywhere. People say, I never had that feeling before. As a child, maybe you give hands, but later on it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen so much. Yeah, you give a hand in a different way. But to be in a circle and you really understand that your nature is light and wisdom, you start realizing it slowly, slowly, slowly. You understand that all the conditioned mind habits that you have, you need to get rid of them. And this slowly, slowly I tell to people. But I start immediately already to give the essence of the teachings. You are an enlightened being with wisdom and, well, you are a mindful essence.
Beautiful.
It works. It works that way. Some Tibetan teachings are for me not complicated, but I said always, don't tell it too complicated to people. Don't do that because they get blocked.
Too hard to follow. Yeah, people say, "Oh, I cannot follow. It's too much for me. I cannot."
No, many people cannot follow. What I also try is get people back in their nature of feeling from the body, because the body gives all the answers. But if there is so much accumulated negative things that is stored in the body, in the organs, you need first to get rid of it. Sadhguru is good. He gave a whole teaching about this subject. Very good. And there are also many solutions to get rid of it. Mantras, visualization, self-healing.
I had many people come, and then also when Lama came to New York years ago, many times I organized weekend courses, and many people were new people. We have many people coming to our group over the years who are new people. Rinpoche always said, it's okay if you don't understand, if you don't intellectually understand, just have a feeling. If you have a feeling of goodness or a feeling of being a little more relaxed or a feeling of, wow, I'm okay. I don't have to have so much mental anguish. Just to have a feeling is really important at the beginning, even if we don't intellectually understand.
Last week, I said to my students, there are two truths, relative truth and absolute truth. Nobody in their life, they don't even understand that there are two truths. But then already they open, they say, wow, if I know that there are two truths, so the relative truth where I always in with all my conditioned mind reactions and whatever I do, and there is an absolute truth where it not exists. Beautiful. So I always work with relative truth and absolute truth. And I always explain immediately that you have to go back to the absolute truth and the absolute experience in your life that you are full of love and compassion only and wisdom.
Yeah.
It's more relatable to their lives. I mean, it's more relatable to this is
Totally.
the now.
Yes, and then of course they can easier look to attachment and desires and all these other things that you can mention. And if they look to it, they said, yeah, you are right. It makes me more unhappy than happy.
Beautiful that you do that.
Yeah, very beautiful. One of the things that I'm hearing a theme in many of the things that you're saying, Jan, is this power of goodness. That we hear so much negativity in our media and on television and the shows we watch and social media. But what you're talking about is really about goodness. That the Buddhist teachings were about goodness, that Lama Gangchen was about goodness in every fiber of his being, and that you've dedicated your company to goodness, right? Being and having the faith in goodness. I keep coming back to this word, that intrinsic to all of us is this goodness, compassion, love.
Yes, there is an energetic field of goodness. It's there. But if it is locked for you, you don't feel anything of goodness because you're outside. You are not inside. And I always train the people and said, if you want to become a part of goodness, the light energy that is always there, you need to enter it. It's not just a mental situation where you say, okay, now there is goodness, now there is light. No, with your body, you have to go inside. So use the mantra, use also your wisdom mind to understand how it is. And when you use mantras, you enter that field. Take Tara mantra, take Om Mani Padme Hum mantra. It doesn't matter. You enter, you open the door and you enter. It's difficult for people, but they accept it from me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they feel.
And then they're already a little bit using mantra.
You can feel it. Yeah.
Work self-healing is the same, but I do self-healing. Last year, I brought my students to our center and I showed the video from Lama Gangchen with the self-healing. And if I ask the students that are still there, from last year, they say, yeah, that this was quite remarkable. Only it was too short for me I feel it, but to understand, no. Of course, the first time I organized a lesson for Rinpoche in my city here, Tutla called me 1 week before. Can you organize an evening for Rinpoche? 1 evening before, I'm going to do that. But I did it. And I trust that it will become okay. So find some creative solutions. And I rent a Catholic reftar, and there came 200 people. That is in that time for Rinpoche was already be incredible. 200 people. And Rinpoche was so enthusiastic. He went back after very late. We went home to I had a farmhouse in the time, and he said, you have to open a center. Oh my God. Yeah, and you have to make two more toilets. Rinpoche always with toilets, something with toilets. Self-healing. Teach it is something totally different. I was not able to do it. Even not after Rinpoche's request, he was very enthusiastic. Lama Caroline was there, but she was in the time that she was not reacting on anything. She was just sitting there, not talking to nobody. Anyway, it didn't happen. So 1 year later, he said, now you have to do it again. Organize one lesson for me. I did it in the same place, and even more people came. And the people want to study self-healing. I was not able. Because besides that, I had a very busy company. I worked very hard. Anyway, I was not able to do it. But if Rinpoche is there, all the people, 230 people, totally touched by Rinpoche's love and compassion. That is his power.
Yes. One of the things that I was so moved by when I was in the presence of Rinpoche was how much he loved everyone. He had so much love and belief in everyone. But I was really stunned by how much I loved everyone when I was in his presence.
Exactly. Because it's immediately working. You are in that cloud of love and compassion. There are clouds, energy, and you are part of it. It works. And I learned from Rinpoche not to judge totally. This is one thing that I really learned from Rinpoche. Don't judge. Never, ever.
Yesterday in the Oracle book, the small book that has all the sayings, yesterday the lesson was don't judge other people because we never know what a person's motivation is.
Exactly. We don't have info.
Exactly. That's we don't know. And the other thing is that we don't know his background. As soon you know the background of a person, you don't judge anymore. I don't give a name, but one person in the center can become quite dramatic reaction, and then you can easily judge if you don't know his background even more. But I'm always interested to know the life story of a person. So I always find out. Judgment is gone.
There's always more behind. We never have all the information.
Always. And who are we to judge another person? I said, what you did not transform is the part that you're still using to judge another. That is the part that you did not transform. So take it as a lesson, because all the people around you that you have irritation of not able to deal with it is your teacher. Transform it immediately. Immediately is not happened by a lot of people, but slowly they learn. Some people like us maybe have more power to transform things immediately or quite quickly.
And so, Jan, what are you transforming that judgment into for our listeners?
Love, always. Love, compassion. And I'm a generous person, so I always be very kind to that person. Yes. Because generosity is also one of the main pillars of Buddhism. Generosity, love, and compassion.
Yeah, and we talked in the early part of our conversation, we talked about your generosity with your business and your generosity materially and with money, helping so many people around the world. But generosity also is with our spirit and our love and our compassion and forgiveness, right?
Exactly, exactly. I think almost the most important part is that share whatever you can with body, speech, and mind. There are people who cannot share any money or not being generous with money, but they are generous with their body and help others with whatever. So the yoga teacher that I met in Kampen, where I now give teachings, she's not able to spend any money to others. She's a single woman with 4 children. The husband was 10 years in jail, so quite difficult. But she survived in a very positive way. And in the few hours that she's free, she helped others. Of course, without asking money, just helping. She goes to a house for where elderly people living together, and she go there with the singing bowls to give them a nice hour and listen to the singing bowls. Especially people who are mentally a little bit disabled, they are very much attached to sound. So that works incredible good. Then she goes there with the singing bowls. So this week I gave her a whole set crystal singing bowls. And she said, why you do that? I said, why you give that is no need. This is what she said. I said, this comes from your parents. Stop with it. Say just thank you. Say thank you. And then she recognized we all have this sometimes, the old habits, and they go with us in our life because your genes having a little bit of this information also. But you need to change it. You need to transform it.
Thanks so much, Jan. I mean, this is an incredible lesson and teaching which you gave this hour and a half. Sharing your experience in the true life makes it so meaningful for people to relate. And it's not something just you sit in the Gompa and do, recitations or don't understand how Tibetan Buddhism can translate into the real life. So thank you, Jan. It was fantastic listening to you. Yeah.
Yeah, very practical examples.
Okay. I'm not the best spokesman. I'm not like that. I'm just a feeling person, but I try to do my best to tell you what I experienced.
You did phenomenally. I learned so much.
So beautiful. Thank you. Yeah. And maybe we close with just thanking Lama Gangchen,
Yes.
for giving us so much faith and hope and positivity in our life and
Yes.
helping us to become a better person and dedicating our life to be of benefit to other people. And may our Holy Lama come back and continue to guide us all very quickly. Lama Ken. Wow, such a beautiful conversation with Jan and Yvonne. It was really inspiring. And one of my main takeaways from Jan's conversation was just how generous he is, and that generosity is at the heart of his life and his Dharma practice. And knowing him for so many years, he's always giving financially, always giving of his energy, giving of his time to other people. So, obviously at the root of that is his compassion.
This is amazing. It's such an amazing story to hear about his business acumen and then how Jan translated this into generosity and the trust just to invest and get going, what Rinpoche asked him to do and support that. I didn't know before. That's really interesting. And I hope Jan comes back.
Yeah, me too. And his business is incredibly successful now. What I think is so powerful about his life, and he demonstrates how to use money with wisdom. And people have so much fear and anxiety and nuttiness around money. And Jan is always using his money to help other people. And his whole business was set up for that. They have a percentage of their profits are given away. And he's very transparent about that with all the employees and his bank and on his website. And so people would really get a lot out of that, that one principle.
Absolutely. And keep the trust. And, even your business goes down and we have many challenges to keep the trust in the investments and your business model and just keep going and do what you think is right. And we know that it turned around, right, in a very good way for him. No one is trusting this way anymore in business. We always compare and we want to keep and retain the money and reinvest in our own business, not giving to nonprofits or investing in, helping others. We'd rather reinvest in our own business to keep it going. So.
Yeah, and in many times of economic contraction, supposedly we're moving into a recession, a global recession right now. The tendency is to only protect myself and to stop giving to others, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, of course, you need to do that to keep yourself sustainable. But the way of the bodhisattva, to which Jan is demonstrating, a person whose life is about helping others and to reach, our highest potential, is to keep giving. That cycle of the more we give, for sure, the more will come back to us, even though we might have a little bit of a bumpy ride.
Yeah.
Right?
And Rinpoche always gave when we were in Indonesia, and he gave money to people who, needed or wanted or asked for him. And he always gave. And then even to people who would maybe, betray or have they have money, but they're just like this and want to have more money. Then he always said, no, if they ask for it, even if it's betrayal, then they need it. So I give it because they need it. Otherwise, they wouldn't ask. Even if it's, somebody who tries to steal or get something, okay, then this person is in need. I'll give it to him.
Yes. And he really taught me that in a very powerful way. I lived in New York City for 20 years, and 15 years that I was studying and traveling with Rinpoche. I was living in New York City, and you have people come up to you all the time asking you for money, the homeless people. And then when I was in South America, people, children, little, very, very small children asking for money. And throughout Tibet, especially say in like Lhasa area, in the city area, there's people asking for money. Rinpoche really taught me that if someone asks, then they need money. And sometimes in people, especially in New York, people would say, oh, I don't give money to these beggars. They're just going to use it for drugs or alcohol. And I thought to myself, well, who am I to be the judge of what they're going to use it for? If they didn't need money, they wouldn't be begging. I mean, who wants to beg on the street and be, a homeless person? So they need it. He taught me not to judge. So just if someone asked for money, they need it. So give it to them. Just open your heart and give it to them. And Jan, obviously he uses his money to sustain his life and the life of his business, but he uses his financial resources to always be of benefit to other people. So he has this bigger purpose for his money. And it's just so inspiring to see someone who has this kind of generosity. And of course, what comes back to him is this abundance, not only materially, but spiritually, because he's such a happy person. So it's really beautiful and inspiring. I'm so happy that he was here to share these stories with us. So please follow along on your favorite podcast platform And please share with your friends if these interviews has been inspiring for you and, our future episodes, please share them with your friends. And you can follow us also on Facebook. If you have a question, please send us a question because we may pick your question for one of our next episodes. Each episode will have a question from our audience to engage with and answer and have some dialogue. So you could go to lamahealer.com, and you can find the link in our description and send us a question. And yes, please follow along with us, download the episodes, and I hope they are inspiring to you as they are to us, and really looking forward to continuing our conversations.
Lama.